Alright, I thought I'd do a bit more on the hare theme, or the Zajcik, or whatever you call them, February Hussey, or yeah. So now you got them home, it's good to make the most of what you've got. So yeah, I've done all the hard work, chopped it all up and everything, and I'll just explain what I'm going to do with it. Right, I've actually separated all the stuff already, and you'll see the bits I've made it into. So I've got all the bones and stuff in there. They're going to be made into some sort of stock for either borscht or just a soup or something like that. And you can see there's actually quite a lot of bones in there. It should make quite a tasty soup. I was lucky enough to shoot this animal on the head, so it meant that we could get the most meat we could off it. I managed to bring home the whole carcass. So that's pretty good. That's going to be a couple of days meal off the soup for 2 or 3 people by the time you add in all the veggies and stuff. And here I've got the meat I chopped off the back legs. That's going to go through the mincer, or else just put it in the food processor, and that's going to be turned into either patties or some sort of spaghetti sauce, or maybe even a chili or something. By the time you add all the bits and pieces to it, you know, you've got a meal for a family of 4, or I can eat for about 2 or 3 days by myself. So that's where that's all in. And last but not least, we've got the back steaks, and they're probably the best cut of the meat on it, and I'm going to fry those for tea tonight, give them with some mushrooms. The thing about the back steaks is it's important to actually make sure you've got all of the sort of sinew or white muscle or whatever you call it off the back. You still see there's a wee bit on there. You can just get your big fingers under it and peel it a bit. Just pick away at it. It's quite tough, that, and if you don't get it off, it's going to make the meat shrivel up as well. When you cook it, it folds up. So yeah, that's what we're going to do with that, and I'm going to put a bit of a rub on it. You can either marinate the back steaks in some sort of fruity stuff. If you're out in the wilderness somewhere, you might have some fruit juice or something with you, or I don't know, raisins, or find some raspberries or something like that, and you can make a marinade out of that. Definitely needs salt, but it's important not to salt it until just before you cook it, because it dries the meat out a wee bit. And the other thing about cooking the back steaks is that it's very easy to overcook them. More than probably any meat that you'll ever cook. If it's overcooked here, it's just not nice to eat. The other thing is you want to have it at room temperature when you cook it. If you've got it straight out of the fridge, it'll go quite tough as well. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to cut them in pieces the same size, try and get them in pieces the same size, so that it'll all cook evenly. So probably about there. And I'm just going to slice off that dry piece at the back. So you get one steak there, and then just turn around and run the knife under there like that. 2 pieces. Goes into the stock, in there like that. Slide it that way. Went to a restaurant not so long ago. The most expensive thing on the meal was hare back steak, and they only gave you one. I feel a bit ripped off about that. We just used to chuck the hares away or feed them to the dogs, until we saw a cooking program once and realised that you could actually, get a few feeds off a hare. Normally you get about 1 kilo of mince off a hare, or about 800 grams, depending on how you shoot it, where you shoot it, that kind of thing. You get the back steaks, and if you've headshot it, you get the bones as well, the bones and the carcass. So it's worth keeping one. You know, everyone thinks, you know, shooting deers or pigs or whatever is the main thing, and it is. But if you can go out and shoot in an afternoon, shoot 5 or 10 hares, you can do quite well off it. And I certainly enjoy eating it. One of my favourite meals is just the back steaks and a bit of mushrooms, and that's what I'm going to cook tonight. I've got a bit of a rub here, and it's just got. You sort of got a choice of either cooking them dry or marinating. A lot of people use wine and that kind of thing in the marinade. I prefer not to. Alcohol and meat, yeah, people use it quite often, but it's not something I prefer. I prefer to have alcohol in a glass, and yeah. But anyhow, I'm just going to roll right around there. I've got a mixture of Cajun spices and a bit of pepper, some salt, and a bit of paprika, and it should taste good. So these pieces of meat are probably going to take about 2 minutes maximum to cook, I suppose. Yeah, the one thing you don't want to do is overcook them. And it's not a bad meat to eat when it's rare. So generally what you do is you cook it. There's a variety of ways you can do it. You just have a plate sitting on top of a bowl of hot water or something. And then once you've cooked it, you just leave it sitting on there to rest while you cook the other food. I'm going to have a few mushrooms and stuff as well. It should be good. Yeah, I don't know, I just run a policy of trying to get as much out of an animal as you can. I prefer to leave an animal running around than just take a little bit of meat off it or something. I know some people with deer, they just put the back steaks off and leave the rest if they're too far away. But yeah, I prefer if I was away in the wilderness or something, just not to bother shooting something. Yeah, not a trophy hunter. It's all about the food for me. So yeah, we'll keep you posted on how things go.
Technique I like to use when cooking here back steaks is to lightly oil the meat, bring it up to room temperature, and then just gently roll it around in a medium hot cast iron fry pan until it's nicely caramelised on the outside. Then I'll set it aside on a plate over the top of a bowl of hot water, just to let it heat through. And while I'm doing that, I get the rest of the meal ready. Cook some mushrooms in this case and a nice baked potato. And of course you'll probably want to serve it with one of the fruitier red wines, and you have a meal fit for a king. Yes, campers, there is more. I've decided to let you in on my special spaghetti and meatballs recipe. Here it is. You take the meat off the back legs of the hare, an onion, clove of garlic, a rasher of streaky bacon, and a bit of nice rye bread or something. Stim through the mincer with a medium plate. Then once you've got all that mixed together, you can add in a egg or two, depending on the size, some salt, some pepper, and a splash of milk. Once you've got all that in the bowl, you just mix it together. Wet your hands, and then start forming the meatballs. You can see how many I've got out of 2 back legs of a hare. And once you've done that, you pop them in the fry pan with a wee bit of oil. Just cook them long enough so they're holding together, and then set them aside once they've got to a firm stage. Then you can start on the sauce. For the sauce, you have a roughly chopped onion, chop up garlic, equal quantities of salt and sugar. Stick them in the fry pan with plenty of oil, good quality oil. You can drown them in oil if you like, and once you've got that cooking, you can put in a splash of vinegar. You can either use balsamic, or I've used Italian white wine. And then once the onions are translucent, chuck in canned tomatoes. You can use fresh if you want, but canned tomatoes seem to work alright. Give it a bit more of a cook, and then you can stir in a tub of tomato paste. On this occasion I've used the double strength stuff. And once you've got that nicely cooking, you just add the meatballs back in and cook them through. And while that's going on, you can be cooking up some spaghetti, and when it's all nicely cooked, you just add it together, and here's the finished product. Meal for four. There's a good 3 or 4 meatballs each there, a bit of sauce and a bit of spaghetti. Yeah,